had our Doona stroller for about 18 months now. Our second baby is just about to grow out of it, and I am really sad to be letting it go. I'm going to be talking about some of the things we liked about this stroller and some of the things we didn't like about this stroller in this video, and hopefully it will help you decide whether or not this stroller is for you. The model of Doona that we have is the Doona Plus. There is also something called the Doona I, which is more available in Europe, and there's also now a Doona X. It is currently not available in the US as the filming of this video, and I'll talk about the difference between that one and this one in just a little bit. When we had our first kid, I didn't really want to spend, this much money on a stroller because I really wasn't sure whether or not we would need it. But because we were getting ready to have our second kid, we had most of our stuff already, and I just wanted to get something new for the new baby, and so I decided to get the Doona stroller. And after 18 months of using it, I am so sad that I didn't get it for my first. When it comes down to it, if you're here for the short answer, was it worth it getting this stroller? For me, it's a definite yes, but of course this also depends on your living situation, what you do from day to day, your hobbies, and whether or not you travel a lot, etc. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about some of the things that we liked about this stroller. What you should know about the stroller car seat combo is that this is car seat first, stroller second. And I say that because it's mostly used as a car seat, and it turns into a stroller for your convenience, but it's definitely a car seat first, stroller second. One of the first things that I realized about the stroller after getting it was how easy it was to transport our baby from the hospital to our home. When you give birth at a hospital or maybe also a birthing center, you do have to have a car seat with you. You can't just take the newborn out of the hospital or the birthing facility just like in your arms. So you have to make sure that you bring your car seat with you. And because this turns into a stroller, the moment we put her in, we just raised it up, turned it into stroller mode, and pushed her out of the hospital. Now keep in mind that I also had a lot of other bags with me, so this was really convenient because you were just able to push her along. If you had just a car seat, a normal car seat that fits onto another stroller, you would have to bring the base of the stroller and attach it on. It's just more things for you to bring to the hospital. The next thing I really liked about this stroller is that our baby, or she's really a toddler now, she's 18 months almost, she will fall asleep in the car. She really likes car rides. She didn't like it in the beginning, but now the only way to get her to nap is to put her in a car seat and drive. So she would sit in the car and fall asleep within about 15 minutes, and we can go about our day. So if we were just driving around trying to put her to sleep, we can take it out and just wheel her back home. Or if we're doing errands, we just take the car seat out of the car, turn it into a stroller, and just go about our day. So we'll sometimes go grocery shopping or run other errands, and this is why it's really convenient. You don't have to wake up your baby by taking them out and transferring them to another stroller. So the Doona really came in handy when we have two kids, because if we are dropping them off at daycare, they didn't go to the same daycare. You always have to take your baby with you, and this was just so convenient. I've seen other parents at the daycare, lug their bucket style car seat like around dropping off their older kid, but this for us, we just took it out of the car and wheeled her in and wheeled her back out and put her back in the car. So this was super convenient in that aspect. Another reason this stroller is good for having a second kid is that this handlebar here, this is like the lower mode. So this is the normal mode that you push it around. When our firstborn was 2.5, that's when our baby was born, our second baby was born, we would lower it and he would be able to push her around as well. Of course, he would want to like spin her around and go really fast. That's another story, but this was really convenient because this is just right for his height, and he was able to push her along and help us out with the baby. This car seat stroller combo is also really compact, and when we sometimes go on day trips, we don't even pack a second stroller. We just bring this with us so that we save our trunk space for some of our luggage and some of our other stuff. When you are traveling with a baby, they need a lot of different things, so there's always a trunk full of stuff, and not having to pack another stroller in the trunk to save space was a lifesaver at times. The footprint of this car seat stroller combo is also very small, so if you are going into smaller elevators, you can just lower the handlebar and it will save you a lot of space. We visit Europe a lot, and the elevators in Europe are much smaller. A family of 4 has to squeeze into a really tight elevator sometimes, and having this solves the issue because we just lower the handlebar and we don't have to worry about it. With our other stroller, we also have a Mockingbird stroller. That's a much bigger stroller. With that stroller, we actually wasn't able to get into one of the building elevators because of its size, and we had to leave it downstairs. And the final thing that we liked about this being a stroller and car seat combo is that it's great for traveling. The Doona, when you buy it, it comes with a car seat base, and I'll show you here. This is what it looks like. You can strap it into your car and the stroller snaps in and you can take it out as you leave. But when you're traveling, you don't have to bring the base. You can use the stroller in vehicles and trains or planes without the base. There's a way that you can use a seatbelt to loop it through this car seat so that you don't need to lug the base with you. And if you have two vehicles, you can also, instead of buying two bases, you can also do it that way. I do have to say that when we are traveling with this and we don't have the base, sometimes we're so used to having a base that we forget to loop the seatbelt through. This only happened maybe 1 or 2 times, and luckily we weren't going very far. But we really had to just like remind ourselves, hey, like you can't just put this directly into the car. You gotta loop the seatbelt through the stroller. Next, we're going to be talking about the downsides of the stroller and why a lot of people don't like the Doona and how we got around it. First and foremost is the price. This thing cost $550 US. I have an extra accessory here that I forgot to mention. This is a handlebar cover that doesn't come with a stroller. There's a plastic handle here, but this is like a faux leather handle cover that we got, so this is why mine might look different from yours or from other people's. We purchased our Doona on Target. When you sign up for a registry with Target, you actually get 2 15% off coupons that you can use 8 weeks before your baby is due, and that's what we did. So we used a 15% off coupon to purchase this from Target, and we got 50% off. The good thing about these is that this has a really high resale value, so I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace and people have been selling it between $300 to $450 for just the stroller alone. Once you add on the other accessories, the resale price can definitely go up. I am actually going to be selling this stroller on our next trip to California soon, and I will let you know how that goes. Another thing a lot of people dislike about the Doona is the height of the handlebar. The height of the handlebar goes up to 99 centimeters. Now, both my husband and I are 5'11", and we didn't really have a lot of issues pushing this around. Of course, had it been a little bit higher, I would have liked that, but it really didn't bother me that much. And because the wheels are so smooth, especially if you're wheeling it on a flat surface, it's actually really smooth and comfortable. And I found myself just pushing it with one hand. That way you can kind of like lower your hand. If you're pushing it like this, you might feel like it's too low, but I somehow just started pushing it with one hand and that felt fine for me. The next thing a lot of people dislike about the Doona is the storage space, or lack of storage space. How we got around was that we purchased 2 bags from Doona. The first one is the Essentials bag, and it's basically just a shoulder bag with lots of different pockets. And my favorite thing about this bag is that it also came with a waterproof changing pad. This is my favorite changing pad, and I moved around between my diaper bags. It's both padded and the outside is completely plastic, so you can easily wipe it down whenever it's dirty. When I purchased this from Doona directly, the price for this was $60 in the US. Now they also have something called the Essentials tote bag, which is just like this but a little bit longer, and that one retails for $80. They didn't have that when I bought the Doona, but there were plenty of pockets in here. There's 2 little buttons on the side of the handlebar, and there are also 2 little rings here that you can just snap onto the stroller like so, and you don't even have to carry your bag around. There is a weight limit of about 3 pounds for this bag. They don't want you putting anything too heavy because it might tip the stroller over when it's in stroller mode. We also got the snap-on storage, and it looks like this. It doesn't really have real straps except for a handle here that you can carry around with you. So there are little things here on the side of the stroller that you snap this onto, and this just really fits onto the back of the stroller. And now you have storage here and you have storage here. The weight limit for this, they say keep things under 6.6 pounds in here, just to, again, to even out the distribution of the weight in the stroller. When you turn the Doona into a car seat, you do have to take both of these bags off the stroller. You can't close it with the bags on here, so that's just something that you have to keep in mind. What we like to do with the snap-on storage is we kept our Ergo baby carrier in here whenever we use this stroller, because whenever she got fussy or tired of the stroller, we would take out our baby carrier and just carry her around, and then she will be happy. This retailed for $40 when we purchased it, so yes, we did spend $100 extra on just the bags alone in order to have some storage space. This has worked really well for us, and I did not regret buying the bags. I'm actually going to be making a video about all the accessories that I bought for the Doona, and if that's available when this video comes out, I'll make sure to leave it in the cards. Is it here or here? As well as in the description below. A lot of people also dislike the short lifespan of the Doona because once your baby grows out of it, you do have to get another car seat. Now you might be wondering, how long can you use the Doona for? I mentioned that for us, we've been using it for 18 months straight, nearly every single day. But of course, every baby is different, every family is different. The recommended limit for this is 4 to 28.6 pounds or 1.8 to 13 kilograms and up to 32 inches tall or 81.3 centimeters. So whichever one comes first, that's when you want to transition your kid out out of the Doona. A lot of people also complain that this is not a real stroller. Well, it's not. It's really a car seat first and then a stroller. So this is what you have to think about when you are deciding whether or not you want to purchase this for yourself. We also have the Mockingbird stroller. We had intended on buying a second seat for the stroller because we knew we were going to have 2 kids. We bought it with our first baby, but because of the age difference, we ended up getting a riding board for that stroller instead of having 2 seats. And then we splurged on the Doona. So when our second baby was born, she was born in the winter, and we didn't really go out that much because it was so cold where we lived. Also, in my culture, there's something called a confinement period or sitting the month, where you basically stay indoors for a whole month after you give birth. I didn't really leave the house unless it was for her pediatrician appointment, I think. Otherwise, you stayed inside. And whenever we did take her out on long walks, we did put her in the Mockingbird stroller just because when you're going out for a walk, I wouldn't recommend taking this if it's a long walk, just because you can't really recline. But now Doona has come out with something called the Doona X, which has 3 different positions for the seat to recline into. Now, as I'm making this video, it's not currently available in the US. They're still waiting on approvals from the I don't know what department it is from the government, but they're still waiting for approvals. But it has already passed in the UK and in Europe, and you can get it, and it looks so cool. If we had a 3rd kid, I might want to think about getting that, but we don't plan on having any more kids. Anyways, it looks really cool. You can recline it, and it works just the same as the original Doona. When you purchase the Doona, it also comes with a newborn insert to kind of help adjust your baby's position, especially your newborn's position when they're sitting in here. So this just goes in here. You have to loop the seatbelt through it and stuff. And then this is the side impact protection pillow that goes here. They're not as reclined in the car seat, and they have more support here around their head. All right, so some other things I wanted to get into is the Doona weighs about 17 pounds or 7.7 kilograms. So add the weight of your baby to this thing could get a little bit heavy. And depending on the height of your car, if you have a really high car and you're on the smaller side, getting this in and out of the car might be a little bit troublesome for you. So that's something that you have to think about. I'm on the taller side and our car happens to be low, so it was okay for me. But you do have to watch out how much space you have for your door when it opens, because if you don't open it all the way, sometimes it's hard to maneuver this into the car. Make sure you can open your door as far as possible for you to get this thing inside the car. As I was doing research for this video, it turns out the Chinese website Temu also sold knockoff Doonas. They had the exact same thing. They used pictures from Doona, except that they blurred out the logo here. And I think when they ship it, they don't have the logo here. Doonas are made in China, so I am assuming that somebody from the factory probably sold somebody the parts or the molds to make the stroller, and they were able to copy it. Now, keep in mind that if this is coming off of a Chinese website, that's not an official Doona website. Do not trust it, because they do not go through any of the safety requirements that the Doona company has to go through. So make sure you be aware. When I first looked it up, I just typed Doona on Google, and one of the first search results would be something from Temu. The price will be much lower. I think it was like $100 and something for the Doona knockoff. I think they've since then pulled it off of Temu. They don't sell the stroller anymore, but they do sell some of the accessories that they have. However, AliExpress, which is also a Chinese company, they're still selling the knockoffs, and Doona hasn't been able to get them to stop selling it. So if you're watching and you work for Doona, please try to keep your eye out for counterfeits and take them offline so that we can make sure that we're not buying any knockoffs. We did do a bit of traveling with the Doona. Because our second baby is under 2, we didn't buy her a seat, which meant that we couldn't bring this on the plane with us or into the cabin with us, because she didn't officially have an extra seat. So she was a lap infant, and I haven't been able to test this on the plane just yet, but we are going to be flying soon, and we got her a seat this time, and I'm going to try to see if I can get some footage of this on the plane and also let you know how that goes. We do also have the padded travel bag from Doona, and that's worked out great for us as well whenever we travel. When you're traveling with a baby, you get 2 checked-in bags for free. That's on top of your current luggage, so you can check in a car seat and a stroller. The padded travel bag is made just for this, so it protects your Doona, and it's a little bit pricey. It's about $100 retail, but we've used it several times on many trips, and our Doona was not broken. It's still intact and in really good shape, actually. So I'm glad that we bought the padded travel bag. That was our experience with the Doona. At the end of the day, make sure to think about your family situation and whether or not you stay home a lot or you plan on going out. There's just a lot of research that you have to do, and just think about what you're going to be doing for the first first 1 to 1.5 years of your baby's life and whether or not this is a good choice for you. You can also look on Facebook Marketplace and try to buy a second hand, but just make sure to look at the bottom of the stroller. There's an expiration date on here. We purchased this in 2023. On the sticker it said that it was made in 2022 and it expires in 2028. So there's about a 6-year lifespan. So if you don't want to buy it new, you want to save some money, go on Facebook Marketplace or some other online marketplaces. Just make sure you ask about the history and whether or not it's been in an accident, and check the sticker for yourself to make sure that it's not expired. So anyways, I would definitely recommend this Doona, and this is not a sponsored video by any means. I just really love this stroller. Our 3-year-old actually has asked me numerous times whether or not I can turn his car seat into a stroller because sometimes we come back from a long day of being outside and he would be tired and he doesn't want to get out of the car seat and walk home, but he would see his little sister being wheeled out of the car and home. So yeah, this is all the reasons why the Doona worked for us. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!